T. Clark here, and this video is going to be talking about how to take a video for your computer science principles performance task create. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have the code. So make sure you have input, make sure you're using a list, make sure you have procedure, algorithm, calls to the procedure, and output. So in the video you have to show that off, but mostly you have to show off the input, the program actually running, and output based on that input. Okay, so the video files can be whatever. So let's go over the slideshow real quick. The first one just says the same stuff that it says on the left right here. It should be no more than a minute, but I recommend that it should be probably 20 seconds or more, but it cannot be more than 30 megabytes. So your teacher, I can help you. Well, if I'm your teacher, I can help you. Your teacher can help you with changing the file size, and you'll submit the file size directly to the College Board. Do not upload it to YouTube. Do not upload to YouTube. I'll put some links in for how to do no more than 30 megabytes. Okay, requirements. You have to have your program running. You have to have input and show off your program running, and has to have output based on that input. Okay, scoring. I like the new directions and prompts because they match up with the scoring, because the video demonstrates input, program functionality, output, and you actually have to have 3A as well for the written response. We'll get to that in the next video. But the video has to have the program running. So you do not get a point if, or you should not have, distinguishing information. So you can't say, oh, T. Clark here, this video is about, no. You can't even talk during the video. I'll show that off when I make my video. It can't show, it shouldn't show your face or name. So it shouldn't have your name anywhere, it shouldn't have your webcam on. And like I said, you can't have voice narration. You can have text captions, but those are kind of hard to make, especially if you're just using Screencastify, but you're allowed to do that. I recommend just putting everything in 3A, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, what you cannot have, this is, you will not get a point if you have this, is a slideshow or pictures of your app. Or if you have video of your code. So I'll show you, you don't want the video of your code, you want the video of the code running. And you must make your own video. Even if you worked in the code with someone else or got help from someone, your video is your own creation. Okay, my hints are, you can ask your teacher for help. So like, oh, what should I use? Should I use Screencastify, or maybe, what am I using? I'm using PowerPoint, insert video somehow, and then I have this website set up. It's linked at the top. I just opened it in a new tab, and it has how to do Screencastify, steps you through it. Your teacher can help you out with your specific devices. You must make sure your video runs continuously. So once you start recording, you don't edit it at all. You just run the code running. And you should show off your code, one piece of your code. It doesn't have to be a perfect, your code doesn't have to be perfect 100% done. You only have a couple weeks to work on it. So the graders, the teachers know the constraints, but you have to show off at least some of your code working. And then there's a checklist right here, basically saying the same stuff. And that's it for the video, okay? So let's look at my code. I have my app right here. Let's see, yep. And if I run it, I have input down here. So I have input, whatever input is. I just have default 300 by 300. I think that's a default, yeah, the exception there. But it doesn't matter what the code is over here. So I originally made this code so that it is useful for teachers to make robot obstacle courses, and they can change the grid down here, they can change the colors, whatever they want, they can change the canvas width and height, but when you run the code, you're not changing the code. You're not saying, oh, this 300 should be whatever, so I had to change it so that it allowed for an input with some caveats, like there's a minimum and maximum, and a default is 300 if I put in a non-number like I did right here. So when you make your video, so you want to plan it out, think about what you want to do. So I'm thinking, okay, I want to show off that if I change the width and the height to different numbers, it'll be different dimensions here, but it'll still draw the same basic grid. Okay, so that's what my plan is. So when I make the video, I'll go to Screencastify, and I turn off the microphone, and I turn off the audio tab in case I have any background music. I don't want my playlist playing. So what I want to do is I want to make sure the microphone is off. make sure the microphone's off. I'm going to be talking over this just because that'll help me focus. But when you do your own, you are not talking. Well, I guess you can talk as long as the microphone option is off. So you're going to click record, and then I'm going to say, okay, my plan is to have a canvas width and height, just two normal numbers, maybe like 500 by 500, and then two numbers that are too small to trigger the minimum size, two numbers that are too big to trigger the maximum constraint, and then two just text inputs that are not int inputs. That way it'll show off the default is 300 there. Okay, so I'm going to start my video and go to Screencastify, record, and then I have to click on run, and only click on run, and I say, okay, go here, input, then it shows my program running. Okay, that's probably not the best, so I run it again. Let's try the minimum. Let's just do 1 and 1. And it shows I shouldn't probably have my mouse there. That's distracting, I know. Run, canvas width, what is it? Just some huge numbers. And it'll run, but it won't be that big. It'll just be 600, but I think I'm zoomed in a bit too much. And then if I put in just letters, whatever, it'll be a nice default 300. And that's it. Finish it up, and then I click on stop. And then Screencastify might do stuff. You want to download the file. So do not want to publish it. You don't want to share it. So what you do want to do is you want to download it. So download as MP4. So you want to export as MP4. If you have a professional one, you can open an editor. And if it was me, I would open an editor, and I would cut out the code on the left. So I'd click on this section, I'd crop it, and I'd only want this code over here, or this running part over here. One, that lets the file size be smaller, and then I'd export as MP4. And two, I don't want the I do not want my code. I'm not taking a video of my code, right? I didn't do anything with my code, I just ran it. So I don't want my code, I just want to run my code. And then it's downloading. Once it's done, it is downloading. Yep, there it is. So now that's the file I want to upload. And then I should probably open it. And this computer takes forever to open up files. It scans it like 50 times. But double check, open it up. If you had a bad video or it didn't work or it has your talking on it, you can redo the video as many times as you want.